Hi, I'm Wyatt Cash at Scoop News Group, and we're here at the Public Sector Innovation Summit with Chris Sear, CTO at Sterling. Chris, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Wyatt. Great to be here.
Well, let me start by asking, what would you say are the key drivers now of digital transformation within the public sector?
Well, I think there's actually several. One is, as time has evolved with information systems, we've needed to create better integration. We have different costs of scale, and we also have kind of a training factor that's coming into play. And all of that, as you combine it into everybody moving to cloud, it creates what I call a perfect storm, if you will, of new technology having to integrate with older technology, and then having skilled people understand the newer technology as it evolves.
Well, next, how would you say that agencies are evolving now to support the work of personnel from anywhere in this new environment that you described?
Well, because of the pandemic that took place, I think it was almost from a point of the have to, right? They had to come up with different systems. I mean, we've supported work from home type remote access connectivity in the IT industry and in the government industry, but for a very small number of people. And to be able to scale that has been kind of a difficult journey for some, but new software systems, new versions of software from vendors such as VMware have come up with much more innovative and optimized ways of being able to do so, as well as the authentication of proving that you are that person that is supposed to work in that organization while you're sitting at your dining room table, or sitting in your home office trying to perform your work.
Mm-hmm. Well, next, why is it so important to focus on application modernization as part of the public sector's transformation journey?
So, in my experience, there are an awful lot of legacy applications that are far older than what we have been commonly used to being able to use on our phones. Some are decades old and using older versions of software and on older versions or older architectures of hardware. And what happens there is the amount of skilled personnel to be able to run and maintain that are dwindling. The technologies that are involved, younger people don't want to learn the older stuff. They want to stay with the new stuff. So it's hard to get people to be able to come into that level of technology. And then on the third angle of it, there's not as much functionality in the older software as there in the new software. There's a lot of new social media tagging. There's a lot of collaborative tool sets that can be implemented in newer application architectures. So I think that that's very important.
Those are some great points. Lastly, how should public sector organizations think about security, especially in the wake of the recent major breaches in and out of government that we've been reading in the headlines?
Yeah, so our organization has actively been involved in incident response. And let me tell you, I do not want to be there during the incident response. I would rather be there in the beginning. So thank you for that question. So hopefully I can, shed a little bit of light on that. If there's one thing I could tell any customer or any agency is trust nothing and trust no one. We're running into several things like a chip famine, a chip shortage, if you will. And there are counterfeit chips that look exactly like the chips that are, that you're used to seeing on these circuit boards. And it's very difficult to be able to detect counterfeits. And so the secure supply chain becomes extremely important. Trust no one. Make sure that you have systems in place, whether it's multi-factor authentication, whether it's the proper level of encryption, whether it is the right software, for your users to be able to do their jobs instead of, downloading an open source, from a website to be able to perform that. It's extremely important, and not just secure supply chain in terms of all of the hardware assets that you're using, but know where your software is coming from as well. If any of the incidents that have happened over the past year will show you that there have been many attacks based upon fully knowledgeable administrators running software that they thought was correct. So very, very important to trust nothing and no one until it's verified.
Well said. Well, Chris Sear, thank you so much for taking time to join us at the Public Sector Innovation Summit and sharing some of your insights on digital transformation.
Thank you so much, Wyatt.